I want to talk to you today about the driving and how important it is to get off the tee. They say all the time, drive for show and putt for dough. But if you don't keep the ball in play off the tee, you're going to be behind the 8 ball. All right, so we're going to show you a little on what I think should be happening when you hit the driver. First and foremost, when you tee the ball up, half to 3/4 of the ball should be showing above the top of the golf club. If you've got a full ball showing, it's usually when you're going downwind and you want the ball to spin up a little bit higher. If you want it to go a little bit lower, tee it down a fraction lower, so about half or even 1/4 of the ball is showing up above the top of the golf club, and that softens the spin, makes the ball come out a little bit lower. And there's 2 changes I want you to do to your normal game. And that is, number 1, play the ball opposite your left toe. It's very, very important. And secondly, make sure that you tilt it slightly back to the right. Because what you want to do with your driver, you want to hit the ball on the upswing, not the downswing. So if you're a person who breaks the tee a lot, or you take a divot a lot, it means you're coming down too sharp on the ball. And what we want you to do is hit up on the ball. And I always tell the story about the first Australian Open I ever played back in 1978 at a course in Melbourne, Australia, called Metropolitan Golf Course, and I hit off the same time as Greg Norman hit off the front 9 as I hit off the back 9 on the first day. And when we got to the range, we played, and I went to the range and he went to the range, and he was in the bay next to me. And every shot I hit, I was either knocking the tee out of the ground or breaking the tee. And he hit probably 15 or 20 drives and didn't once replace his tee in the ground. So I tried to analyse him through his feet, and the first thing I noticed is his ball position was definitely further forward to the left of me. So when you're setting up to the ball, just start with your feet together, same thing with you getting your set up, but then move your left foot only 1 inch and your right foot 8 inches. So your feet are still as wide as your shoulders, maybe a little bit wider than your irons, but the ball position's opposite the left toe. The second thing I saw him do was I actually saw him slightly tilt back to the right, so his head's slightly back behind the ball. And what it made him do, he still coiled with the top and then sweep the ball off the tee. I remember seeing a long driver, and he was trying to explain how to hit it further, and he said you've got to feel like there's a ramp leading up to the ball, and you've got to hit up the ramp and hit the ball off the tee. So it is a similar technique, same grip, same setup as everything else. Obviously, because it's a bit longer, you're standing a fraction further away from it. But we're going to watch Matt from the golf shop hit a few shots. When he hits, I want you to notice where his body is situated at the address position, and where the ball's situated. You'll notice that the ball is situated opposite his left toe, and you'll notice that his spine's tilted slightly to the right, because we want to hit the ball on the upswing. He's still going to coil from the left shoulder and wind from the upper half of the body. He's still going to unwind from the lower half of the body with that right knee moving through. But we're going to really focus on trying to sweep the ball off the tee. Notice from that angle where he's setting up, the ball's well forward. Notice where his head is. His head is, if I took a line off his nose, his head, and it's back behind the ball. Swing was the same, but what we did, because the ball was forward, I want you to look very closely and notice that the tee's still in the ground, so we swept it off the tee, and that's why he's a very, very good player. And if you can check your tee after every shot and make sure that you can see it's still in the ground. A bit difficult with the plastic ones of today, but if you can see that every time and it stays in the ground, and particularly if you're using a wooden tee, don't break it, make sure it stays in the ground, you just sweep it off the tee. Greg Norman was probably the best driver of the ball I ever saw, considering what we used and the equipment we used back then. And I think that if you can develop the right technique with the driver and keep the ball in play, you're going to be a very good player. Come up and see us and have fun with your golf.